Facebook has been a great place for a long time to store some of your photos and be exposed to conspiracy theories that turn you into a political monster. It's still that, but it might be making a few changes that could potentially have an effect on the election. So here is what Facebook has announced recently. The social network said it planned to bar any new political ads on its site in the week before election day. It said it would also strengthen measures against posts that try to dissuade people from voting. Okay, so that sounds good. The idea that if you're posting to tell people not to vote, you should get rid of that. That I don't think should be a new policy. And I hate that we have a system where that's a common thing. But the barring, I don't know, barring like the new ads. What do you think about that, Adrian? Having a week-long period with no new ad buys.
I think that is kind of somewhat counterintuitive to a certain extent, just because we have potential new ads doesn't necessarily mean that they are problematic. It's just wild to me that Facebook, with all the revenue that it generates and it's all of its worth, that it can't hire teams to sufficiently weed through. And I guess I shouldn't say can't as much as I should say won't. The fact is that they continue to fail us and take advantage and leverage individual ignorance to the point that we are stuck with what we've had 4 years of the Trump administration, and we could have 4 years more if it doesn't get its nonsense in order. Because the American people, God bless them, but they cannot be trusted.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's a lot of ways that the American people are just the worst, but part of it is they trust the things that they see, and when the most powerful companies in the world have created systems that spread misinformation better than they've ever spread anything that's accurate, like, yeah, it's on the individual people, but it's also on them. Like, Facebook has been actively allowing Donald Trump to lie in his ads throughout this year and saying that it's not their job to be the arbiters of truth. And the thing is, as you say, ads aren't the problem. Lies in ads are the problem. Provocations to violence are the problem. And neither of those things are difficult to weed out. Marginally more difficult than just not having any ads, I guess. But I feel like you could figure it out. If you figured out how to steal all of the developments from Snapchat and all these other companies and make them part of Facebook, you can figure this one out, I think. But they don't want to. And the thing is, let's say we have a period of no new ads, which, by the way, explicitly does not stop ads continuing into that period. So as long as you start it a week and a half before the election, you can continue your lies and ads throughout, just to be clear. So what will there be? There will be a vacuum, but that vacuum is going to be filled. We have a great quote from Tara McGowan, chief executive of liberal nonprofit group Acronym, who says, by banning new political ads in the final critical days of the 2020 election, Facebook has decided to tip the scales of the election to those with the greatest followings on Facebook. And that includes President Trump and the right-wing media that serves him. It's gonna be Breitbart and it's gonna be Ben Shapiro and all of that. I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like, but I do know that yesterday on Facebook, 12 of the top 15 most shared links were about Nancy Pelosi's salon visit. Now, that's not fake news. She actually did that. So I guess that's an improvement, but that does not give me a lot of confidence of Facebook allowing a hands-off approach to lead to people actually getting access to all of the critical information that they need.
And you would think that Facebook would have a sense of accountability, but the thing is that it does not. And we know that there are other countries out there that actually invest some time in making sure that they don't have these kind of problems and uprisings by regulating essentially what's said. And yet here we're so clinging steadfast to that thought of First Amendment regulation and not trying to keep voices out and condemned, where it's really taking down our democracy. And it's unfortunate that people don't realize that we need greater regulation of these entities that are essentially becoming propaganda mills, because it's taking down our democracy and all of the foundations and the underpinnings of our nation. And it's absolutely problematic, but no one's doing anything about it.
Yeah, and there was one other change. It's just like, Facebook is getting a lot of positive press today because of these changes they're making. They're taking things seriously for once. But so the other change is post-election, Facebook said it would quash any candidate's attempts at claiming false victories by redirecting users to accurate information on the results. Okay, so if that's all you know, that sounds pretty good, because there's a not insignificant chance that Donald Trump is going to declare victory no matter what happens. But what do they mean by quash their attempts by redirecting to accurate information? Like, as an example, Donald Trump earlier today tweeted something about how mail-in voting is all fraudulent and you can't trust your vote. So Twitter and Facebook put additional information about voting as a sort of fact check. And on Facebook, it's a little additional thing at the bottom. It doesn't block his post, and it doesn't, like in the actual notification, it doesn't say that he's wrong or he's lying. It just says click for additional information about voting. That doesn't quash anything. Now, maybe this will be different, but I haven't seen anything on Facebook that implies to me that they're really going to take this seriously. Like Mark Zuckerberg, he's really worried about Trump illegitimately maintaining his presidency. Why would we believe that at this point? Why would we offer any sort of goodwill towards Facebook? I don't know, and I doubt many people will.
No, and I don't think that they should. And unfortunately, there's a certain segment of our society who lives and breathes Facebook. And those are the ones who need access to the most accurate information. And Zuckerberg has no incentive, no incentive whatsoever. I think they got the largest government regulatory fine that's ever been issued. I think it was maybe 1% of their net income that year. Like there's no incentive to do right. And if anything, having Trump in power continues to help him out because he doesn't get the taxes that he should be paying, and he doesn't have the regulation that is needed for Facebook. But nothing's going to change.
I disagree with you there. Things always change, just generally for the worst.
Yeah, sorry. Oh God, I was the one thinking I was being negative. Go on, John. Tell them.
No. I mean, I used to remember when Ann Coulter was the source of misinformation?
Yes.
I think that was easier to refute than what we've got these days.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And especially because at least with Ann Coulter, there's a limited bandwidth for her lies, as odd as that is. There is kind of a bottom, but when it comes to this stuff that's circulating on Facebook, there's really no bottom. And people can go ahead and get their confirmation bias in by Googling things and finding, yes, that is supported.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.